Hey listeners, welcome to Straight Wife Trans Life. I'm Lisa. Today's episode is the third episode with my spouse, and we touch on changes to our marriage after she came out almost 2 years ago and how we are doing today. For anyone going through this, the roughest part is the beginning. If you do make it beyond a year, it gets easier, but it really depends on the couple. Your dynamics, your needs, your boundaries, so many variables. No couple going through this has the exact same experience. Similar, maybe, but not the same. For us, here's how it's going. Welcome to the third installment of my 3 interviews with my spouse. Hello, spouse.
Hello.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
So today we are going to cover where we have started as a couple going through this and where we are now that we are almost at the 2-year mark since you came out. You came out on New Year's Eve, and that will be in December. So we're 3 months away, but this is a good spot to sort of talk about where we've been and how we're doing. So after coming out to me, how were the first few months that followed? Because I sort of checked out for a bit as I processed the news and came to terms with things. Was that a difficult time, or was it better than expected for you?
So it was a very strange time. I was partly relieved to be already done with coming out, but I couldn't tell. Like, I didn't know you were looking at houses or what happened when you got away from me and you didn't share it with me. And then you were kind of just zombing around. You were doing kind of like the bare minimum to keep our household running, but I really picked up all the fallen pieces, and I was really worried for your mental health. I took the kid out several weekends just to give you space and let you process what you were trying to process, but I really didn't know where things were going. I was pretty worried, and I was trying to help you find some support, like therapies, and that wasn't easy.
Yep, so my first reaction was, where should I move to? But then I came around and I thought, you know what, this is the best person. We have such a great time together. We have a great relationship. This doesn't have to be the end. And I decided that staying was actually the best option for me. It doesn't have to be for everybody, but for me, I'm happy that I'm here. We're now in what is called a MOM, a mixed orientation marriage. So I'm straight, and now I am married to a lesbian transgender woman. Are you okay that we are on different physical wavelengths but have a solid emotional bond?
I think I don't have much of a choice. Like, if I didn't like it, I would have also run away. But you truly are like everything I always thought and wanted on somebody. You really embody it. You're super funny, you're thoughtful, you're loving, you treat me incredibly well, and there is no substitute for that. The other wavelength, I don't know. I think I just have to go through it on my own.
Yeah, I think that we're still just sort of figuring out certain parts of being in this new orientation, but I think that we're doing a great job. So I cannot bring myself to call you my wife. I think that it feels sort of untrue to me. I always say spouse when I address you, except for the title of the podcast. Is that a concern for you? Does it bother you that I'm not comfortable calling you my wife?
I never had any expectation to be called wife. I actually find it pretty cute, but I never had that as an expectation. In my native language, Spanish, spouse is kind of a way to refer to also the person you married, mostly your wife. So it doesn't carry the same punch for me or lack of strength. I'm very happy to be your person.
Yeah, so in Spanish, it's esposo or esposa, which sounds like spouse. We were introduced recently where someone said, oh, and this is her wife. And I was like, no, spouse. And I still feel a little bit bad about that because it is something that I struggle with. But that's also part, I think, of the transitioning. We're still figuring this out as we go. Everything is a learning process. If anything, we have become stronger together. I think we are more honest and open. Would you agree with that?
Yes. I mean, you've always been super supportive of everything I try to do or everything I do. But I think we are very strong together, stronger in many, many ways. I think the difficult times had made us stronger. Difficult times with external people, difficult times among ourselves, difficult times trying to plan and find a path ahead together, difficult times trying to keep our child sane and in the same page and happy. So I think all that hardship has really made us a stronger couple.
Have any changes in the marriage since you have come out disappointed you at this point? Not including the mismatched orientation, that's its own thing, but is there anything that has been disappointing to you coming out as a transgender woman in relation to our marriage?
I'm not exactly disappointed. I think we're almost there the same way. I feel I made all these changes to myself and I didn't expect things to change around me. I just wanted to live my life a little bit differently. I didn't want other people to change much of their lives around me. And now I just feel a little bit like I miss some parts of our marriage. Like I know you are not comfortable, like you said, like calling me one way or another. And that was never an issue before. It was always, everything was comfortable, I felt. Other than that, I don't think anybody can ask for anybody better than you to go through something like this.
Well, I'm sure there are better people out there than me. But for our case, I think that we're doing well. I'm surprised myself by how much it means to me to stay and to not let the difficulties of a transition and external factors, people and how they react to what they see, how I've made sure that that doesn't get to me or to you or to our son. So with that said, have any changes in the marriage since you've come out surprised you in a positive way?
I probably am just more like amazed than surprised. I think all this stuff you just said, I feel like it's just love. Like you have so much love and you really give yourself so completely, and that really has blown my mind how that feels. And I often feel pretty unworthy of it. Although I brought this up with my therapist, and he insists that everything is okay. I shouldn't feel like that, but I still feel like that. That's kind of like the positive thing, like how much love, the incredible amount of love I feel from you. And externally, I am surprised that from all the people that I have come out to just a couple have been negative or rejecting. I'm sure other people don't feel exactly on board and happy and supportive, but they have kept their mouth shut about it, so I appreciate that too.
Of course, you're worthy of love. Everybody is worthy of love. And I hope that other spouses who might be having a difficult time find a way to keep a piece of love if it's really difficult for them.
I think the key here is that we had love, respect, and appreciation for each other, and we're just keeping it through some difficulty that we get to see through. I think if we were a contentious couple that had other issues, this would just be one more thing that would be a problem. And I think the way I approached it was never trying to keep it away. I was trying to figure it out on my own until I understood what it was. I brought it up. That different approach is actually what keeps us together, rather than making it a big issue that has to split us as a couple.
I agree. I think that if you started with a foundation of love and respect towards one another, that you can find a way to, even if you don't stay together, you can find a way to continue as a happy unit or as happy friends. So I have one more question for you. How do you think that we are doing at this point today? It was a rocky start, but how do you think that we are doing today?
I think we're doing pretty great. I feel loved and supported, and when I'm down, you always are trying to pick me up and cheer me up and protect me, and you worry about my safety, and I'm exactly the same way back to you. I worry about you. I worry about your state of mind. I worry about how you feel, how our family is. I don't know if you have mentioned it, but I have scheduled already more serious medical interventions, facial feminization surgery, and we have a whole plan around it. It just makes me feel loved and supported, and I'm trying to show that I am also on the same page all the time.
That's a whole other episode, and that will be discussed at a later time. Everything else works. Like, we're a great team, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. So I'm very happy that I've stayed, and I think that we're doing as well as we can. Well, I want to thank you for being my guest on these past 3 episodes. It's been really fun to include your perspective, and I'm sure that I will have you back in the future if you would love to join me.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Bye.